It was just the interest that was snowballing that got me to... I fully prepared for her to say, what the hell you want me to do about this now? You know?
It was really very scary for me lah. And I know there is a possibility that people come and take our furniture away.
Yeah. The season of Christmas is upon us, and today we're going to talk about finances. This is something that I think one of the main reasons we wanted to create a couple channel to really have a proper time, right? Not really caring about entertainability for a while, to talk about something that it took a long time for us to learn and a very hard journey for us to learn. And that's really about our finances, not just as a couple, but our personal finances, how we really f***ed up, and then how we got to a much better place that we are now today. I think one of the first things that it started, right, was that the concept of financial literacy, right, was not something that we truly cared about. And I think both of us has very warped understanding of what a credit card is. Growing up, I mean, because of our parents not being very financially literate, which is not really their fault in that sense. Also, it's back then that it just isn't those financial literacy education. And for us growing up, there is a credit card, right? It's like extra money that you can tap on, right? And then because the spending starts really small, right? It's like
500.
Not even it's like $50, $100 Those are the things, these are the amount we spent on last time, right? At a time. Even if you pay the minimum, then they will give you like crazy credit card interest rates, right? The crazy credit card interest rate divide into month, then divide on your additional $200. You just feel like, okay, I mean, I don't have $100 now, I don't have $50 now, then if I can withdraw a magical $50, then I just pay another like $4, then like, okay, you know? And that's how it kind of compounded and started for us in a way whereby both of us got into credit card debt before we were married.
I think that what went down, what made us go through the rabbit hole was the $500 credit card. Remember?
Yeah, no, the Citibank card. Can go to Zoom.
Can go to Zoom, got a lot of perks. Then you tell yourself like, how much more can you owe? You know, it's just $500 ma. And if your part-time job earns $500, then you can pay it back. No. That created the habit of us spending on credit. Even though he was partying, even though he was doing a lot of things with the company, because it was a very fun company.
Previous company.
He keeps saying that, you know, these are on company's dime. So it's like, we'll get back one, like we'll be reimbursed, will be everything. Then
the entrance fee was free, and I don't really drink. So I drink like 1 cup, 2 cups, then my face is great already, you know? So it's really helping company pay first, that kind of thinking I'll claim later. But then claim go back to my bank account, I never immediately pay the debt. I roll. Okay, back then my salary was 3K. My credit card, right, got the limit, I think is 3 cups plus together was 17K. Of the 17K, maybe I spend 7-8K rolling. The rest are interest. Like I stopped using the card already. I really stopped using the card already.
But because he paid minimum.
And I pay minimum every month. Then sometimes I pay late. It was just the interest that was snowballing that got me to 16,000. I was just a mess in financial management. And do you know this? I even called Augustine, which is our financial planner, our insurance agent. And I asked him, dude, I'm in credit card debt. Is there a way I can structure this debt? And he said, cannot. Like the amount, right, was like 4-5x my salary already. However, the number was too small
to declare bankrupt.
For me, no, not even declare bankrupt. To go to a debt restructuring program. I reached the number at that time, I think it was like 40,000-45,000. So it's like, the debt was too low to get help. Yet 5 times my salary already. And so I was in this stage, I really don't know what to do. And the only reason, right, I decided, oh shit, I need to tell Pat already, right, was because my credit limit not even enough for the interest to run already. Which, God knows what happens if I cannot even incur more debt with the credit card company. Are they gonna come to my house and like take my mother furniture or what? It's not even my house. So that was when I really panicked already. It was crazy for me because I know Pat looked up to me even then as someone that don't buy nonsense. Looks at investing quite seriously, even though barely started, just no money to start, right? But we talk about it quite a lot, right? And I didn't want to dash the impression she had of me, you know, and I didn't want her to feel that like she cannot trust me with money in our relationship because I know how painful that can be. And I remember the year to be 2016 was the day that I could no longer keep it to myself and I had to tell Pat, which was then my girlfriend, fiance, that girlfriend only, that I'm in credit card debt and it has spiraled out of control and I no longer know how to fix this problem. Can you help me? Then I wait. I fully prepared for her to say, what the hell you want me to do about this now? You know? And I know I prepare myself mentally that Pat's gonna judge me for this and I'm going to have to regain her trust. There's a damn good chance that there's nothing she can do about it because we also know it's not like she has 6 savings that she can just pass to me, right? I just needed to share the load with someone so that we knew what to do. And then she said, okay, how much is it? Then it's like, okay, how many banks? And she immediately gave me a solution. After me being the entrepreneurial one, right? The one that comes from family business and all that stuff. After all that, asking financial advisors, Googling for weeks and months, how to structure that, how to get out of that, that kind of nonsense, right? She just immediately gave me an elegant solution. And Patrina Tan Hui Ying,
hey, what is my full name?
structured my credit card debt through a balance transfer. So basically how a balance transfer works is that if let's say you have a credit limit of $10,000, you can withdraw in cash an amount, I think it's 90% of your $10,000. Then they charge you a one-time fee, like a 1%, 2%, quite small one. But you're not paying upfront, they're taking from the amount they loan you. Yeah, so they give you less than the 90%. Then if you pay within a stipulated time, which is a 6 months balance transfer, you pay in the 6th time, you don't pay any more interest.
Correct.
But if you pay minimum, you exceed the 6 months, then you kena the full credit card interest again, or something like that. By no means is this any form of financial advice, like go and take a balance transfer? Nah.
No, it's not.
But I just wanted to share this as a financial option at a time where I literally thought the banks could do nothing for me. Because it was so bad already, I couldn't even get a personal loan to cover this loan. At least the personal loan is structured because the credit card makes who lend me money already. And back then I was like 25, 26 years old. I got myself in debt. Credit rating become dog shit. And I remember thinking then and there at that time that I'll do anything for this woman. Because as much as she was my world, I was like thinking, she has every right to lash out and judge me and hit me and scold me and cry and leave me. But none of that happened. And I was so prepared to take a good amount of it. But none of that happened. She's just like, okay, can. How much? So we'll do this. Then every month, you just pay $600, $700 for 2 years. Are you okay with that? Or 1 year, are you okay with that? I sit down and think, yeah, I'm okay with that. Because like now I'm struggling, you know?
You even pay the minimum.
Yeah, I think it was like 700 a month, which my take-home salary after that was like 2 plus already. So 700 is not saying nothing, but it's so much better knowing that this 700 is clearing a debt, not just paying interest. And that really started my personal finance journey. That was when I supercharged and I go crazy and I learned, I took all my credit cards and I cancelled the credit card because I know that I have zero financial self-control. And the amount I spend in my credit card must always be lower than the money I have in my bank. And if my money in bank is zero, my credit should be zero. That was what I told myself. And I'm eternally grateful for my wife for getting me out of that debt.
I think during first year or second year of poly, my dad also got into debt. And that was the bigger issue that I have to solve when I was 18, 19 years old. And when I remember we were dating already, and when I told him, I think he was also quite lost lah. It's like he also don't know how to help me.
I got zero income.
Correct. So there was nothing we can do, but I had part-time job and I started paying off my dad's minimum sum. And he was owing minimally 10 credit card company. He actually did a lot of cash advances. So that is the worst thing you can do when you have a credit card. Spending on it is already bad, but cash advance is even worse because the interest rate is so high. I remember I paid like 1,400 every month for him. Just to clear minimum debt.
Your part-time job so much money.
I was giving tuition. Yeah, just tuition only. Yeah, so I was very, very scared back then, and his sum was a lot bigger. I think total owe about 30,000 at the age of 19, 18. It was really very scary for me lah, and I know there is a possibility that people come and take our furniture away. Eventually, I went to my uncle, and the only way out was to declare bankrupt for him lah. That is why I had so much experiences with credit card debt and knowing the minimum sum, paying the minimum sum is not going to help you anywhere because interest is going to keep rolling. Back then, I had nothing more to spend. It's just that sometimes I fancy something, you know, a bit more, then I use that card to buy. I was still quite good with money because I was very...
on like Charles and Keith.
Yeah, I was still very scarred by
like
my
Emphasis.
father.
You all know this brand of Emphasis.
I want to start try a bit. One thing that is the irony, right, that is when you declare bankrupt, you need to pay to declare bankrupt.
No, really?
Really? I had to pay like $1,500 or $2,000 like fee.
Oh, you pay a lawyer lah, is it?
I don't know why I was there, but back then I was dumbfounded. I really no money how to pay you that $1,500 or $2,000, but they made it not easy so that you don't just suka go and declare bankrupt. Yeah, so that's why I remember I go to my uncle. I had to tell somebody because I couldn't pay already. Yeah.
And it's not such a big surprise to me also because my family also had gone through a bankruptcy experience. Not that my parents did any stupid things. They were not good with money. Yes. But how my dad eventually had a issue going into bankruptcy was because he was a guarantor for a friend and him, okay? And so he refused to pay out the amount, so he himself declared. And I remember what that felt like because I was too young to really get it. And I think my parents were trying to shield us from it. But what happened, or what I got to see, was that one day my mom just said, my dad just said, go. He's gonna bring the kids out. Of which my dad doesn't really bring us out by himself. It's always like with my mom or my mom bring us out. And my mom stayed home. And when we came back that evening, right, we saw on pretty much 99% of all our furniture that there's a sticker. I mean, I couldn't read that probably, so I don't know what the sticker actually says. But basically, this is the sticker of a repossession and where the bank will probably take your shit and then try and auction to try and recover the amount of money you owe them. And I think my parents was trying to shield us from that. But I think over time, you ask enough questions. Because like, how come got random people can't stick ugly stickers? It's not even like Spider-Man, it's like some stupid sticker, you know? And then eventually, we kind of understood what this was. And so what we did is we sell the house, we clear everything, and we got my dad out of bankruptcy. When I say we, it's just really my parents do it themselves. Yeah, and that's why my family started on our like, really that financial route and thinking and like ingrained in my sisters and I that we cannot make these mistakes, we cannot be like that. Yeah. Oh yeah, we have to do something. And so I remember in that time, right, I felt really secure knowing that my debt is no longer ballooning. Then as long as I don't incur debt, which I couldn't possibly at that time because I cut all my credit card already, that I'll be okay. And it's gonna be a slightly painful 2 years. And then after that, I won't even have to think about having this debt anymore. And that's huge for me. That's like giving myself a raise. You know, because every month your salary comes in and this amount goes to either your credit card balance and or your card repayment in my case because of this wonderful wife. And the moment that ended is immediately I give myself a $700 a month raise, which is huge. Until about 1 to 2 years later,
I got into that.
So about 1 to 2 years after that, and in that time, that 1 to 2 years, I financially woke already. And I tell you what got me so financially woke, it was my clients, because I had to do a lot of research to create content for them. And the first one was CPF. CPF got me attending financial events. It got me talking and speaking to the financial bloggers and publications in Singapore. And it was through that I really began understanding financial bias, financial issues, why we make stupid financial decisions, and how amazing is compound interest. And in that period, I managed to save. I started investing. It was not a lot, but started. Then 1-2 years later, after Pat helped me structure my debt, probably not fully paid off yet, just structure only. Then Pat told me that she found herself in debt.
And I think that was quite late to my 20s already. And I couldn't believe it. Like, I snowballed to a point where like I told myself I will never be at that situation, and I got myself there. At a later part of the 20s, I remember when I was flying, I buy a lot of things. Like people when they fly, they save minimally 20 to 30K a year. I only flew for 1.5 years. I think I walked out with only 10k. So since young, I also feel that I always get what I want. During the trip with my mom, right, I think I shared before that I wanted a phone and my family couldn't afford it. Then my mom had to go and pawn away her gold to buy me. And back then I just didn't care how I get it. I just want. And I think I grew up with that notion, thinking that if you want it, just get it lah. You can pay for it later, also just can get it. Yeah, so I think that's how I got into debt lor. Like I buy things I cannot afford and I just keep telling myself that next month just eat lesser. Just buy lesser things and then you can.
And it doesn't happen.
It didn't happen.
You know what I thought about? I realized that both our very different childhood shaped our early financial mindset.
Yes, definitely.
And I could see why for Pat also is that in her early childhood, right, she talked about it's survival of the fittest. That was her, right? It's survival of the fittest for you. And that's how she got herself in debt.
Yeah.
Because it's survival of the fittest, now that I revenge buy, right?
Yes.
And for me, it was different. For me, I come from a very giving family that's very generous and like afraid to like maybe whole family got like hero complex maybe, or whole family's biggest fear is disappointing people. And so because of that, which is not a good thing by the way, because we overcompensate, we get into debt for reasons we don't understand. Like we got nothing out of it, you know what I mean?
I got a lot of things out of it.
You know, she got a few bags that she still have, you know, that she can probably still sell and liquidate. So how did you feel when you had to come and tell me that now you have a debt?
Very ashamed. Because not that we never went through this before. We went through it. I really thought I could solve because I have a job. And then like every year there's going to be increment. So I feel that like, I'm actually earning quite decent back then. I think when after my SQ job, I was earning like 3+. So I felt that I could solve the problem and I will never roll to the issue where I need. And then back then I already know balance transfer exists, right? So if I ever need balance transfer, I'll just take it for myself lah.
So then the question becomes, why didn't you balance transfer for yourself? Why did you tell me? Do you remember? No, I remember something.
I think I did balance transfer, but the debt was a bit too big to even pay off the balance transfer monthly. So
no, my wife, it's me.
No. So
can I tell you why? I remember why.
Why?
You could balance transfer your entire debt.
Yeah.
But because you use your balance transfer on my debt.
Oh yes.
You don't have enough credit limit to cover your debt.
Correct.
You were still like 5-6k short.
Correct. And I think back then John already woke up earlier. Yeah, he woke up already. So I knew that he would have been saving and I shamelessly went to him and say, can you lend me money?
She did not. She only told me she had debt and the money came. And
I mean, it was going to there lah, you know, it was going there that I know that you have cash sitting around and I just thought that, you know, why don't 我欠自己人 like owe it to him rather than I owe to the bank that I need to pay interest.
I remember it was insane when I saved my first 10k and it was like damn late in life, like 27, 28, and then I saved my first 10k. When this happened, right, the first thing that came to my head was, I know exactly how this feels. I know how embarrassed she probably is and how much she's probably expecting me to be a and that how she feels like I have a right to be a and I remember the grace she showed me. I remember why I want to marry her. Then I remember I just gave her 80% of my savings that day to clear that debt. And I remember feeling so honored to be able to do that for you.
And I felt very grateful, honestly. I
think she eventually paid me back though, I think.
I did. I did pay you back, yeah. But I just feel that he's a person that I can rely on and I'm glad I also could let him rely on when he needed me lah, or he needed someone. But I think one of the toxic traits that I got out of this is that I still wanted to live the lifestyle that I had even though I was in debt. I'm somebody, if anybody has something, I also want to have one. And I know myself for that. I hate myself for that. So when I see people traveling, you know, during our age, like, you know, 28, 29, people start earning money already, everybody traveling.
Then they travel, they stay hotel. And I'm like, what the heck? How are you all staying in hotels? Yeah,
so then I also want that lifestyle. So it's like, I also working, I also need to treat myself. So then it just went on and on. But if we are going towards marriage, right, we cannot dig ourselves a bigger hole because we have house, we have wedding, we have everything. So that's where I woke up and I started telling myself that I want to be financial literate, to know that money is very, very important, savings is important, and there's going to be rainy days that we will need this money for. And back then, we still thought that we were going to have a kid lah. So that kind of woke me up.
I want to say I pulled this trick on you a few years back as well.
What do you mean?
Remember when I told you I'm gonna retire in the next 10 years?
Oh.
And if you cannot retire, it's your problem.
Yes.
Then
I remember.
her rate of saving and investments, right? Exponentially changed because she want to make sure that like when we both wake up, right, we both need to go work. If I don't know work, she don't want to go work.
I remember the exact thing that he told me. He said, babe, I don't know about you, but when I retire, I'll be traveling the world, and I don't know about you, maybe you may be sitting in the coffee shop like all the old uncles and aunties. I just like, oh my god. So yeah. I think I sped up during when I was 29.
No lah, then the last 2 years you speed up.
Yeah, okay, maybe around 30 lah. I had a very internal breakdown when I turned 30, when I realized that, you know, my saving was worth nothing. Like, I didn't save much. Like, where were all my money? And even though I was getting good increment, good pay, there were no savings. And I suddenly just became very scared at the age of 30. And yeah, that pushed me a lot more.
Okay, so this episode is getting way too long. There's a lot of things we want to cover. For example, how do we personally plan our finances for retirement, rainy day and all that stuff. But I think we're just going to cap off this episode by really talking about what we learned in our various stages of life, right? In how to communicate about money to your spouse.
Couple.
Yeah.
We have been together long enough before we get married. We were together for 10 years, and through that 10 years, I think we have seen each other and learned about each other's spending habits. Yeah, that really, and then we go through that 2-debt cycle, right, that we have. And then it really taught us that if there's anything that you need to hide, means it's wrong already.
But you still do.
I still do. But this time around it's different. I really can pay it off. And a few months later, I will actually tell him that, oh, I actually bought that. Or he will slowly realize because he know that it's new.
Yeah. I mean, to me now it's about value. Is it worth spending money? So it's a less important question of do you have this money? You know what I learned about looking at money is very similar to ego, in that it becomes a repetition that can snowball. And I learned this lesson from a dear friend, and I shared this recently on the Daily Catch Up. That dear friend is Audrey Langley. I tell you, Audrey is such a great girl, okay? And whenever we were like, hey, let's go for dinner, then she's like, oh, where are you going for dinner? Then we're like, oh, we're going to wherever like maybe some place at Esplanade. Then he's like, you're doing anything after that? And it's like, yeah, after that maybe we're going to somebody's place to chill. Like, okay, well, I'll just meet you all there because like the dinner's too expensive, so I'm just gonna go home and eat, then I'm gonna meet you all there. To me, like I don't dare, I rather just show up, try and order something cheap. Because of my ego, that blew my mind because it was not at the stage where we all young and wearing school uniform, you know? It's that conversation that I had with her when she was talking to us, it was like 25, 26 years old, and it's that age, you know, where guys are trying to peacock. You know, girls are trying to peacock and all that stuff, and you're setting impressions with your circle around you, and Audrey being just so damn cool, right? She just don't care. And that shook me. That I realized that why do I care so much?
Yeah.
How much people think I have.
面子咯.
Yeah. And I remember telling Audrey this to her face. I'm like, this thing changed my perspective on finance. And she didn't even realize it's a thing. You know, she's like, because her whole life since young, she grew up without this money, reputation, ego. And I think that if you are a young adult watching this, or even a teenager, realize that there's so much power, right, in saying,
no.
I cannot work.
Walk away.
Yeah, just walk away. And like, fun doesn't have to be expensive.
So I feel that it's not easy to actually talk about finances as a couple because ultimately, before you guys are married, you all are like best friends, Like you don't even know whether you're gonna marry this person, or even when you're about to marry this person, you realize that like, hey, I'm going to keep my separate account. He's going to have his own savings account. I actually don't even need to talk about it. No. Need to talk about it. And what actually opened up this conversation for us was during our engagement encounter. I think everybody, even though you're not Catholic, who have gone through like a marriage thing, a marriage counsel thing. Yeah, so I find that session extra helpful because there were questions that made us felt uncomfortable talking about. Yeah. And it explored all areas before we get into marriage. During the course, I remember we lost the book already, so we cannot like kind of regurgitate. And I want to say, even during the EE course, for the Catholics that are going to this, don't worry. It's your own little book.
you write for yourself, then you show your partner show you, then you bring the book home. It's just we move house, we cannot find the book. That book forces us to talk about things that we are otherwise really, really uncomfortable to talk about. Many of the things, to be honest, 90% of the book we talk about it already, by virtue of being together 10 years even before we get married. But for adult dating, right, when you meet the fella 2-3 years at a time, I tell you, you won't cover all these things, one.
You won't. If I don't remember wrongly, the finance sector or the finance section was they allocated the longest time for us to actually talk about. Because I could see, right, because the two of us, we went through two cycles of debt already. By the time we want to get married, right, we kind of know about everything we have for each other, because 10 years ma. But when we were just sitting down there lepak, right, we saw that people got very serious. And we even hear people raising voices when it comes to talking about money. Like in their exercise, if I can remember, they made us talk about, like, rate the importance of certain things, like how important to you is retirement, life savings, insurance, like luxury items. So
how often is you want to travel every year, that kind of thing.
Correct. So I think at the stage where we were when we went into Engage Encounter, we already had that talk like a few times because we had to, but there were people who didn't. And I find the exercise very useful because it really forces you to talk about finances. And honestly, sometimes I think one of the key drivers to divorce in Singapore is money. It really sometimes
it is the
really
top cause
money.
of conflict.
So if that is the top cause, then why don't you talk about it before you go into a marriage, right?
And so what we will do, right, is that we will create a sheet in the description and try and remember what we've learned, plus add our own things into the sheet. And we encourage you and your partner to download this Word doc. I mean, it's free, I mean, it's gonna be on my company G Drive, okay? So download it and then go through this questionnaire with your partner if you are so serious about having a life together. We hope you all find it useful. If we think of more things in future, or we learn more things, we will update it and then we will append it in the description again for you all to do.
Yes.
We hope you all enjoyed this sharing. I hope that you all don't take any of this as financial advice, get us in trouble. It's not. But I thought that these are experiences that are deeply personal that I feel like people don't really talk about. And we just wanted to share that, and hopefully someone out there benefits today from either the conversations you might have with your spouse, being less judgmental with your spouse, because if you want them to be truly honest with you, and we learned this new word during our EER, Engagement Encounter, financial fidelity. When they are honest and transparent with you about their money problem, don't be judgmental. Take it and encourage this transparency. Then I think when both of y'all have no ego, no mask to hide behind, no need to show her that I have more money than I have, I'm looking at you young men trying to impress young women. Okay, never mind, we just go and eat, but you're struggling, not worth it. If you've benefited from this sharing, do drop us a comment, let us know that you've benefited from this, so we know whether we want to do a part 2, part 3 or more, because there's a lot more actually. Also, thank you very much for watching. We hope if you are watching that you give us a sub so we can grow this channel, so we would continue doing it.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.